In a remarkable convergence of weather events, China faces an unprecedented challenge with three powerful typhoons threatening its coastal regions. As Typhoon Saola made a double landfall in Guangdong on September 2nd, narrowly avoiding Taiwan, the nation remains on edge as Typhoon 11 Haikui and Typhoon 12 Hongyan follows close behind. Typhoon Saola struck the southern coast of Zhuhai, Guangdong, around 3:30 a.m. on September 2nd. It packed winds of up to 14 levels on the Beaufort scale, marking it as the strongest typhoon to hit Guangdong this year. Subsequently, it weakened from super typhoon strength to a typhoon. Videos circulating on social media depict the ferocity of the storm. In Shenzhen, powerful gusts accompanied torrential rain, uprooting numerous street-side trees and making pedestrian movement hazardous. Residents struggled as doors and windows of some homes were blown away. Zhuhai bore the brunt of the storm's impact as well, grappling with heavy rainfall that led to flooding and urban inundation. Around 1:50 p.m. in Guangdong, Saola staged a second landfall at Yangjiang's Hailing Island, bringing wind speeds of up to level 10 near its center. China's National Meteorological Center reports extensive ramifications due to the triple typhoon threat. On September 2nd, torrential and extremely heavy rain battered western Guangdong and eastern Guangxi, causing flooding in multiple areas. Guangdong regions such as Yunfu, Maoming, Jiangmen, Yangjiang, and Guangxi's region of Wuzhou witnessed extreme rainfall ranging from 250 to 360 millimeters. Coastal areas in central Guangdong and eastern Guangxi face gusts ranging from level 8 to 10, with localized regions near Jiangmen experiencing gusts up to level 12. The impact of the typhoon prompted authorities to initiate certain safety measures. 7 coastal cities, including Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shanwei, Jieyang, Shantou, Huizhou, and Zhongshan, have activated a comprehensive 5-stop approach, halting work, businesses, markets, transportation, and schooling. Residents have been advised to remain indoors, and vehicular movements have been significantly curtailed to minimize risk. Shenzhen and Zhuhai pressed pause on all modes of transportation, including air, land, sea, and railway operations in an attempt to mitigate the impending danger. The Guangzhou Railway Group announced a halt in all train services entering and leaving Guangdong from 8 p.m. on September 1st to 6 p.m. on September 2nd. Shenzhen saw a citywide closure of subway services and highway traffic controls, with Shenzhen Bay Port temporarily suspending clearance services and several bridges like the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and the Shenzhen Bay Bridge undergoing temporary closures. As the province wrestled with the typhoon, evacuation efforts were ramped up, seeing over 780,000 individuals move to safer grounds. Shenzhen alone relocated more than 300,000 residents, with over 10,000 workers finding temporary shelter in an underground parking facility at Shenzhen Bay Sports Center. The Daya Bay area witnessed an evacuation of about 18,000 individuals. In Shenzhen, a man lost his life when a tree was uprooted and fell onto his car, also injuring 2 female passengers, one of whom was found unconscious. On 1st of September, a car in Shenzhen was struck by a falling tree. Although the extent of injuries remain unknown at this time, an eyewitness who captured a video said, "Oh no, bullseye, that car just passed and then it got hit by that falling tree." As Hong Kong braced itself for the impact, the Hong Kong Observatory issued a number 10 typhoon signal on the evening of September 1st, cautioning residents about the severe weather conditions. A video circulating online showed a woman being blown away by the strong wind, sliding several meters along the ground near number 8 King Ling Road, Sun Quan O. Fortunately, there were no vehicles passing by on the road, so the woman was not hurt further. During the night of September 1st, on the morning of the 2nd, multiple areas in the Red Bay development zone of Shanwei City experienced fallen trees, causing traffic disruptions. In addition to Guangdong Province, several areas in Fujian Province suffered from seawater intrusion and flooding. The province was shut down 115 tourist spots, halted 314 ongoing construction projects, temporarily closed 67 port enterprises, and suspended 23 water routes. 42 coastal island ferry routes and 6 road passenger transport services. 3 inland river ferry points have also been closed. According to a report from the Beijing News on September 2nd, many areas in Zhangzhou of Fujian experienced heavy rainfall. Residents' homes have been flooded and agriculture fields submerged, with some sections of the roads inundated up to the abdomen, and even some wooden houses being swept away. The Jiangjiang Meteorological Station reported that heavy to torrential rains are still expected in the area on the 2nd. On September 3rd, the impact of the Typhoon Saola is nearing its end. Around 5 a.m., it was located within the territory of Zhanjiang City, Guangdong Province, and is expected to move towards a west-southwest direction at a speed of 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. It will soon move into the Beibu Gulf, gradually weakening in intensity. Areas including Guangdong and Guangxi will continue to experience strong winds and rain. China has faced significant adverse effects due to the ravaging forces of Typhoon Saola. The Fujian province government's flood and drought relief agency revealed on the 3rd that by 6 p.m. the day before, the typhoon had disrupted the lives of nearly 450,000 individuals in the region, necessitating the relocation of around 169,000 residents. Agricultural land were not spared, with 2,412 hectares impacted and 196 hectares witnessing complete devastation. The financial toll of the catastrophe has escalated to 872 million yuan, accompanied by the destruction of 144 residences. In a recent report from Hong Kong Mingpao, Typhoon Saola wreaked havoc across several regions in Guangdong, notably making landfall in Zhuhai and Yangjiang on September 2nd, unleashing severe gales and heavy rainfall. A staggering number of over 190 locations logged more than 100 millimeters of rainfall, significantly affecting life and property. By 5 p.m. on the same day, preventative measures saw the evacuation of 925,000 individuals in Guangdong, with about 573 hectares of agricultural land experiencing damage. As the impacts of Typhoon Saola start to wane, attention shifts towards Typhoon 11 Haikui, which is steadily approaching its critical phase. It made a landfall in Taiwan on the evening of September 3rd, with the potential of lingering in the Taiwan Strait thereafter. This movement brought extensive rainfall to some coastal areas in the southeast, setting the stage for a possible severe weather event between September 5th and 6th, with Guangdong bracing for notably adverse impacts, including torrential rains. Moreover, eastern Fujian is forecasted to endure consecutive days of heavy rainfall. In anticipation, the Central Meteorological Observatory persisted with a red typhoon alert earlier today. Weather experts in China warn of Haikui's potential to induce substantial and prolonged rainfall, raising concerns of renewed flooding and other calamities in regions previously battered by Saola. In response to these ongoing natural disasters, several netizens have directed warnings towards the ruling Chinese Communist Party. One tweet criticizes the continuous typhoon targeting the mainland as a sign of escalating disasters, implying a necessity for a change in governance, drawing parallels to ancient practices where emperors sought to appease the heavens during times of natural calamities. Another message circulating online suggests that these relentless natural disasters serve as a stern warning to the current ruling authorities. Interestingly, despite some considering these opinions as mere personal conjectures, the exceptional strength of Typhoon Saola, termed as a perfect storm, has necessitated heightened vigilance from governments across the strait. The storm actually bypassed Taiwan without inflicting casualties. It headed towards Hong Kong and led the local government to issue an uncommon early level 8 tropical cyclone warning signal, underscoring the severe threat posed by the storm. In August, Taiwan remained vigilant in the face of the oncoming Typhoon Saola and Haikui. Weather experts anticipated the strong storm circle of Typhoon Saola to reach Taiwan on the afternoon of August 30th, expecting the heaviest rainfall and wind to occur overnight into the next day. However, weather specialist Wuzhou noted on the same day that the storm seemed to demonstrate a perfect evasion technique, in its trajectory deviating further south of Taiwan and barely grazing the landmass. This change implied a significant reduction in the expected period of impact. China news agency reported from Taipei on August 31st that after lifting the land typhoon warning for Saola late on the night of August 30th, the maritime typhoon alert was also rescinded on the afternoon of August 31st. Taiwan's Disaster Response Center reported that Typhoon Saola did not cause any casualties. And from the Central Meteorological Bureau three-path map on August 31st, it can also be seen that the typhoon avoided Taiwan again, taking a detour. Typhoon Saola eventually approached coastal areas such as Hong Kong and Guangdong in China, causing significant impact and disaster in those local areas. On the other hand, Typhoon 11 Haikui made landfall near Taitung on the evening of September 3rd, forging westward across Taiwan and towards the central mountain range. According to former Taiwan Meteorological Bureau Director Zhen Mingdian, the storm's future developments are likely to be influenced by the local geography, crediting the central mountain range for lessening the impact of many typhoons over the years, earning it the moniker of the nation-protecting sacred mountain. In the summer season, the Pacific Ocean region is a breeding ground for the formation of typhoons. Countries including China, Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea find themselves routinely in the path of these storms, grappling with consequential disasters they often bring. Interestingly, recent years have witnessed a series of typhoons curiously diverting their paths away from Taiwan. Between 1911 and 2019, Taiwan experienced an average of 3 typhoons per year, with a maximum of 7 in 1 year. Yet, since the latter part of August 2019, 14 typhoons have approached the region, only to veer away or to be impeded by the central mountain range. This phenomenon has caught the attention of various media and analysts who find the unusual trajectories and near misses, as observed in typhoon forecast maps, remarkable. Some have even alluded to a protective shield surrounding the island, preventing typhoons from approaching. According to typhoon forecast maps created by the Japanese broadcaster NHK in 2022, typhoon appearing between July and October 2022 exhibited a peculiar pattern. They seemed to alter their courses abruptly towards Japan as they approached Taiwan. Moreover, typhoons during June, November, and December took a straightforward route towards Southeast Asia, later heading to mainland China. The phenomenon have been observed as somewhat surreal, as though the typhoons were receiving instructions to meticulously avoid Taiwan just before reaching its vicinity. In a related development, Dr. Jia Xingxing from the Atmospheric Science Research Institute of Taiwan University pointed out an even more astonishing instance from 1964. During that year, a total of 34 typhoons were generated, with most other nations covered in dense and intricate routes of these storm paths. Contrarily, Taiwan seemed to be encircled as if protected by an invisible shield, with none of the typhoons daring to approach too closely, a phenomenon that appears almost magical. In recent weather developments that have left many perplexed, the host of the program News Shocking Moments, Dai Yu, have noted a peculiar pattern concerning the typhoons lashing North China. Oddly, despite Taiwan's geographical position, which should technically place it in the perilous path of these storms, the island has seemingly been avoided by the recent typhoons, particularly the typhoon Doksuri in early August, conspicuously bypassed Taiwan, making landfall in Fujian first before heading straight into North and Northeast China. The popular media program Golden Focus has also covered this phenomenon, emphasizing the odd trajectory of Typhoon Doksuri, which recently targeted Jiangmen, intensifying into a super typhoon in the process. According to the China Meteorological Administration, the wind speed of Doksuri ranged between level 14 and 16. The typhoon's journey saw it making 4 bizarre 90-degree turns, becoming a focal point of public discussion. Post its second abrupt turn, it appeared set to traverse the entirety of Taiwan, causing significant alarm amongst the locals. Surprisingly, 2 more sharp turns occurred thereafter, leading Doksuri to eventually steer clear of Taiwan, advancing towards Fujian instead. Typhoon Kanu exhibited a similarly miraculous change in direction, veering away from Taiwan suddenly and making a 90-degree northward turn as it neared Japan. Its path continued towards the Korean peninsula and northeast China, a trajectory found rather uncanny by many. While passing over the northeastern seas of Taiwan, the peripheral circulation of Typhoon Kanu did have some effects on the region, causing flooding in Nantou, albeit without inducing severe flood disasters inland-wide. Dao Yu commented, contrarily, the outer circulation of Typhoon Kanu aided in significant rainfall in Taiwan, replenishing various major reservoirs ironically, while its landfall in China spelled disaster. Its presence near Taiwan brought nourishment. Media reports are now flooded with news of how Typhoon Kanu was substantially assisted in refilling Taiwan's reservoirs, bringing significant rainfall to the catchment areas and surrounding regions. In a startling contrast, statistics compiled by the China Weather Network indicate that since the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949 until 2022, a total of 659 typhoons have made landfall in mainland China. However, it's noteworthy that only a handful of these typhoons have hit the mainland with a force of 17 level winds or higher. The recent Typhoon Saola can be counted as one of the top 5 most potent typhoons to strike since 1949. The others in the formidable list are Typhoon Wanda, which hit Zhejiang in 1956, Typhoon March, that struck Hainan in 1973, Typhoon Saomai, which reached Zhejiang in 2006, and Typhoon Ramasan that made landfall in 2014. Statistically speaking, between 1949 and 2022, Guangdong have been the region most susceptible to typhoons hit. Over these 17-plus years, Guangdong witnessed a staggering 202 typhoon landfalls, a number which exceeds Taiwan, the second most affected region, by 71 instances. In analyzing this trend, Dao Yu suggests that besides some scientific explanations, a significant shift has occurred in Taiwan post the eruption of the anti-extradition bill protest in Hong Kong in 2019. The general public in Taiwan has since become vehemently clear in their rejection of the Chinese Communist Party. While this might seem unrelated at a first glance, it could possibly align with a belief prevalent among netizens that the number of increasing disasters will persist as long as the Chinese Communist Party remains in power, which might, in essence, be the best explanation available to address this phenomenon.